Hey guys, what's up? Today we have some information about brand new monsters being introduced to the GX era series of cards. You have, as I have already covered, Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon, which is obviously Chaz Princeton's monster. Well, we have two more cards. One is to support the Ancient Gears. This is for Dr. Velian Crowler, and the other for Jesse Anderson and his Crystal Beasts. I will probably cover these two in two separate videos, as I hope, like the other, to add some more information about potential strategies and problems with these cards, along with any summoning, within the anime. I did a few clips with the other one. By the way, just a hint, guys, if you guys like the little clips that I added, just leave a comment in the comment section, just so I know kind of where I'm going with this and whether you're actually enjoying the content. But back to the video. So we will have a look at the new Ancient Gear today. This is Megaton Ancient Gear Golem. Wait, did someone just say Megaton? What, are you calling him fat? He's just big boned. Or just savaged a few smaller Ancient Gears to act like armor. Aside from that, this is a level 9 Earth Machine Fusion with 3,300 attack and 3,300 defense, and it requires 3 Ancient Gear monsters. Its first effect is, if this card attacks your opponent, cannot activate spell or trap cards until the end of the damage step. The second effect is, if this card was fusion summoned using 2 or more Ancient Gear Golem and or Ancient Gear Golem Ultimate Pound, the alternative card, this card can make a number of attacks per battle phase equal to the number of those monsters used. The third effect is, if this face-up fusion summoned card leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So, let's break this down, this card effects down. The first, preventing your opponent from activating their back row. It's the standard effect within the Ancient Gears. You will see this effect set within monsters ranging anywhere from Ancient Gear Golem, Ancient Gear Soldier,
Ancient Gear Soldier!
To Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. The exceptions to the rule tend to be the smaller monsters, including Ancient Gear Box and Ancient Gear itself. The second effect enables it to gain a bonus effect for the trouble of using Ancient Gear Golem to provide it with up to an additional 3 attacks. This can be quite devastating, as your opponent will not be able to respond to the attacks within anything outside of monster effects, and even this can be shut down when paired with Chaos Ancient Gear Jump.
Once joined, they'll form an Ancient Gear of Goliath proportions! I fusion summon the ground-shaking Chaos Ancient Gear Giant!
This will result, if used properly, with as much typically as 6,600 damage, providing you are attacking a defense position monster. The downside of this effect is that it does, this will result, if used properly, with as much typically as 6,600 damage, provided you are attacking an attack position monster. The downside of this effect is that it does not have that staple ability that you'll find with the Ancient Gear Golem to inflict piercing battle damage. But I suppose in another way, if I could do this as well, then that would make this, if it could do this as well, that would make it too powerful. As for the final effect, it is removed by an If it is removed by an opponent's card effect, it can replace itself with an Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. Is a frightening effect. Very rarely do monsters that summon other monsters bring out a stronger monster, and even when they do, there is usually a side effect or consequence in summoning it, whether that be you cannot summon for the rest of the turn, or it cannot attack on the turn it is summoned. To get the true idea of how damaging this is, we must look at Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. It is an Earth Machine Fusion level 10 with 4,400 attack and 3,400 defense, and it requires an Ancient Gear Golem and 2 Ancient Gear monsters. This effect must be fusion summoned. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spells or trap cards until the end of the damage step. If this card is destroyed, you can target 1 Ancient Gear Golem in your graveyard, special summon it, ignoring the summoning conditions. This monster has 1,100 attack and 100 defense more than the newer card, and even if this gets sent to the graveyard, you can bring out an Ancient Gear Golem. This creates a vicious cycle. Just imagine having something like a Mystic Tomato with triple the attack and defense, and can keep bringing things back. This makes it very annoying and difficult to deal with them as an archetype. I was just thinking back, when the archetype was initially released, it was very much ignored. The monsters were too high a level, and only consisted of Ancient Gear Soldier, a level 4 monster with 1,300 attack and defense, Ancient Gear Beast, which had 2,000 attack. It was a level 5, level 6. It was a 1 tribute monster who could negate the effects of monsters that it destroyed, and obviously Ancient Gear Golem itself, along with 1 or 2 spell supports. That was all they had back then. It has come a long way considering the support from the Ancient Gear structure deck and its use within the anime of Arc V, which provided decent support. The Obelisk Force all used Ancient Gear monsters. This included Ancient Gear Wyvern, which enables searches and has a decent 1,700 attack, and a more generic Ancient Gear fusion monster in the form of Chaos Ancient Gear Giant. You can imagine what this support would have done with Crowler if he ever received it. I could just picture the duel between Crowler and Jaden and how it would have gone if the tables had been turned. Overall, Megaton Ancient Gear Golem has a very balanced attack and defense, so could be used in either way. It can, if you want it to be, just act as a stepping stone, considering you might not want to go into its multiple attack effect and would prefer its destruction effect. It is very generic, and if you think about it, it could enable you to run some of the weaker Ancient Gears, which provide some form of advantage, but would often break your hand. The main downside of this card, and I would consider this to be a very minor downside, is that its summon cannot be protected. Therefore, it's at risk of cards such as Solemn Warning or Solemn Strike, and if this was to happen, does not enable its destruction effect to activate, as it would be treated as though the monster had not yet been properly summoned. The best part of the archetype is, as well, with Ancient Gear Hunting Hound, it can now act as a polarization and fuse these monsters, as well as the myriad of fusion cards such as Fusion Recycling Plant, which makes it easy to bring back your fusion materials and reuse for multiple fusion monsters. So, what do you guys think of this card? How useful do you think it is? Does it provide versatility within the deck? Or is it just some beatstick monster just in another package? Leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and as always, thank you for taking the time to watch the